Yo, this is Stocks and Bars, the Stock Market Hip Hop Podcast, the only place you will find finance mixed with hip hop. And today, family, we have a special guest on the podcast. We got Jon Connor. We got the People's Champ, the People's Rapper. And we are going to go in great detail talking about hip hop, his financial journey, and how he has grown from then until now. So stick around. Let's go.
I got my clique ready to use the money they got from jobs, encouraging, teaching them that it's not so hard. I'm doing this, making investing pop. You law, it's extra. You tuning in to Stocks and Bars.
Yo, Stocks and Bars. Listen up, man. The guy that I have with me right now, the special guest, is somebody that I very first got introduced to, I want to say in early 2000. When I first started to rap with my brother, I made my rounds in Cleveland, and I bumped into a producer named Optics. And me and Optics started to chop it up. He came over to my house, he gave me some beats, and he displayed a couple of guys that he was working with at the time. He was working with a guy named Blitz, and he was also working with this artist here, Jon Connor, who he told me about. So he let me hear some tracks from both, and I'm like, yo, both of these guys are dope, right? So fast forward to, I want to say it was probably like 2011, 2012. And I got reintroduced to this artist here when he was on an album with Willie the Kid. And on the track that was Aqua Marina, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
It was dropping on there, right? I'm like, oh, snap, that's who Optics was talking about, right? So I can keep talking about this. We'll get into it. But yo, I got Jon Connor on the podcast, Stocks and Bars with me. Yo, family, yo, I appreciate you jumping on with me. I really do. Thank you for the patience. And like I said, man, thank you for the time.
It's love, man. No, thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure. And you brought up back in the day, yes. Shouts out to Optics, man, and Blitz, man. Yeah. Cool dudes, talented dudes, absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's funny how things come full circle because...
And Willie the Kid, my fault.
Yeah, Willie, absolutely, Willie, man. So on that track, you know, I had to write this one down because my memory was going back to it. You spit the line on here: college is artificial, knowledge used for profit to fatten the institutions while we still end up jobless, right? And that right there speaks volumes because that's something that I'm on all the time, right? When it comes to what's going on in the workforce and how it continually feeds people into it and all that. So when you wrote that lyric, man, what was going on in your mind at that time?
Well, I actually was thinking about, you know, my sister graduated from college. You know, she went to Michigan State and, you know, she got her master's and she's doing extremely well now. But I just remember at different points in time, there were those weird years where she still was trying to figure out, you know, how does this degree help me? Like, you know what I'm saying, in my life. Like, once she got out into the real world, it was like, how does this actually help me? And then it wasn't just my sister. It was like a lot of people that I knew that took the college route. And to anybody that does, I'm not trying to shame them because I think, you know, whatever journey you take to, you know, educate yourself and get yourself where you want to be, hey, do that. But it's just, these were things that I was speaking on based off of personal experiences and things that I witnessed. So I was thinking about like my sister and just other people that I knew that had went to college and yet they were still like struggling to figure out what they were going to do. It was like, you know, they put in all this time. And then I can remember even after they graduate, they still talking about how they got to pay back these college debt loans. And I'm like, this is crazy. So you mean to tell me you went to college and all you got out of it was a piece of paper, more debt, and you still gonna end up working jobs that I might end up working and I didn't go to college. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's, you know, I'm a 1 + 1 is 2 type of cat, man. So just that line came from there. Just a lot of things that I was seeing that didn't quite add up.
Yeah, that frustration is real because everybody experiences that. For the fact is the saying, you know, you go to college to get the job that pay for college that you got the job for.
Yep. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah, it is. I call it the American dream, the great liability scheme. And that's because, we are all fooled into getting a house, get in the car, get an education, and all that does is accumulate debt, and you have to work the rest of your life to get it. There's no coincidence that you have like 65 as the retirement age. Like this is mapped out. This is a vicious game, bro.
It is. Man, the game is filthy.
Yeah.
It's filthy.
All right, so I want to transition on this one from your upbringing from Flint, Michigan, to when you actually got signed with Aftermath. Mm-hmm. So I know there's a lot of grind on there. You know, I watched the documentary that you had, and I want to know, you know, what was it when you first got that notification from Dre? All right, talk about that moment when you got the notification like, hey, Dre likes your stuff. And you're like, come on, man.
Well, yeah, that phone call came from Exhibit.
Okay.
So I went on a tour with Exhibit probably a year before that. It was the Collateral Damage tour. And then we always kind of kept in touch. And then I can remember because I had a show that day, and he called me and he just was like, yo, I had an idea. I want to let Dr. Dre hear your music. And at the time, I was really just thinking to myself, I am so cool just doing my thing independently. Yeah. The fact that Dr. Dre would hear my music, that was good enough for me. That, you know what I'm saying, that off of grinding and doing what I was doing, that my music had reached, you know, to those levels and to those circles, you know what I'm saying? I should say. So he played Dre the music, and then I get a phone call back no less than like an hour later where he's like, Dre wants you to come to California and he want to meet with you. So I go there, and the moment that and I'm gonna release all of this stuff because I got all of this stuff on film, and I want to put it in a pretty bow, like in a documentary style. Like there's the mini doc that's out there, but it's so much footage that I got from just every aspect of my life. But I have footage of the actual like first day we met, and I rapped for him or whatever. And so he just kept putting on beats one after another and one after another. And then he was just like, yo, so what you trying to do? And then that, you know, led to the next 6 years of my life of, you know what I'm saying, learning a whole bunch, going through Aftermath University. Yeah. But it was a beautiful thing, man, because from the first time we met, we had a natural chemistry just as people. And then when he was putting on beats, because I think he was trying to, it was, you know, I think all the OGs in the game got to put you through that gauntlet of, let me see if you're the real deal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to freeze up? Are you going to get nervous? Are you going to run out of raps? Are you going to like, can you, what, like, are you the real deal? And he put me through that the first night that we met, putting on beat after beat, and every beat he put on, I just kept rhyming. So after that, it was on.
Dang. Yeah. So how long was that experience when he put you through that?
How long was the actual experience, or how long ago was that?
No. How long was the actual experience? You talk about the gauntlet. Like, how long did you put?
Man. So it was crazy. So he must have put on, from what I can remember, man, at least 11, 12 beats. And all of these beats were like, you know how Sway do like the 5 fingers of death or whatever it's called? Yeah, dog. Like, it was like that. How Sway will play like beats that are different tempos, right? So it was like, that's what Dre did. He was playing, he was hoping he could stump me. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never get stumped. So it was all good. But yeah, he played like 12, 13 beats. They was all different tempos, some hard, some softer, some, you know, soulful joints, some turned up club joints. And I had raps. I had like rhymes for every single joint that he played. And after a while, then he just cut the music and was like, so cut the music off, like, so what you want to do? Yeah. And there it was.
Yo, that's dope. That's dope, man. I can't say I would make it through the gauntlet. I ain't got that many raps.
Right.
So Aftermath happens, right? Tell me about when that check clears, all right? What was the first thing that you remember that you purchased when that check hit your hands in the cash?
When I first got a nice size check from music, wow. I think the first thing I did, I think I might have flew my girl at the time to California with me. I think that might have been the first thing I did. That's the first thing that I can remember doing. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? But man, my first substantial purchase. Oh man, I can't even remember, man. I really can't. I can't even remember. I think I bought whatever the newest like Canon camera was because I wanted to like be able to be self-sufficient as far as shooting content and shooting
Okay.
videos. So that might have been my first purchase, like when I got the bread.
Yeah, so you
Then,
was
then
you was
after that,
Instagramming
yeah,
before Instagram.
yeah. This is like 2013. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2013, 2014. So yeah, Instagram was in its infant stages at the time.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about hip hop influences earlier before, we jumped on here. And, I told you about how hip hop influenced me and the things that I purchased that are questionable in my past. But I just wanted to know from your perspective, has hip hop influenced you to make any purchases before? And if you can share what hip hop has allowed you to buy.
Oh boy. What purchases has hip hop inspired me to?
Yeah.
You know what's funny, man? When I was younger, I was a big fan of Cash Money.
Okay.
So I always thought when I got the bread, I was gonna go to Jacob the jeweler, go get iced up.
Yeah.
But by the time I got a record deal, I really was kind of off jewelry like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really, so hip hop never really influenced like my purchases by the time I got substantial amounts of money. Like more so pro wrestling did. I remember I bought like this I'm a collector of excuse me, and any wrestling fan watching this, it's a Cody Rhodes hat that I got on. But I've always been a big fan of pro wrestling. Everybody got they hobbies or things that they like to collect. For some people, it's cars, some people it's jewelry, some people it's paintings, and for me, it's pro wrestling. So I just remember the purchase. I was more so influenced by pro wrestling because I started buying like replica championship belts and autograph paraphernalia and stuff. That was the little kid in me. You know what I'm saying?
Living out the dream, yeah.
Those were the irresponsible purchases I made just to give myself a little pat on the back for my hard work.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with it. You got some pleasure out of it because you worked hard.
Yeah,
for
sure. I still got them to this day. Yeah.
I did get Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Ninja Turtles.
Who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Donatello.
Okay. I was a Leonardo guy.
All right, yeah, I got my girls hooked on it too, where they like the Ninja Turtles series as well. So it's pretty sweet to see it.
Did y'all go see the new movie?
Yeah, we went to see the new movie too. It was actually pretty good. I thought it was interesting, the different angle that they did, coming from the teenage perspective of it, because I was like, you know what, that's actually right. Like, we've never seen these guys be kids, right?
Kids, yeah.
They've been adults ever since.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I thought it was good too. I just actually seen it, I think maybe like a week and a half ago. I thought they did a great job.
Yeah. Shout out to Seth Rogen for that remake on that too.
Absolutely. And Ice Cube killed it too.
Yeah, he did. I heard his voice. I was like, oh, that's Cube. Oh, snap.
Yeah, Ice Cube killed it. He killed it.
Hip hop is in the house fully, man.
Definitely.
All right. So when you first got that deal and everything went through, can you share with me and the others, what was your deal structure when that happened?
Wow. So my deal structure was I got an advance, and I think it was I always feel tacky talking about numbers, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'll say I got a signing advance. I got an advance off top. And then I think it was something crazy like six album deal or something like that. Yeah. And it was an interesting deal, and it was pretty much structured like any other first time artist, because what people don't realize is when you signing a deal for the first time, you don't have no leverage because you don't have a track record. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. And not just, I don't say this just about like Aftermath or Interscope. I just think the entire music business, the structure of record deals in general, they're not in the favor of an artist at all, especially since most artists, you didn't go to school to learn everything that you need to know about what all of these pages of legal jargon that you about to sign really mean.
Yeah.
Half the time you talking about, especially in hip hop, kids that are coming out of the ghetto,
Mm-hmm.
that these record deals are more money than their parents, their grandparents, their great grandparents ever had in their life. So they're not financially literate enough to know
Right.
how to make this money last after they sign this contract. And you know, when you don't know what you don't know, you don't really know how to protect yourself when it
Right.
comes to contracts in the music business. So I think my deal was pretty much structured like any other first time artist, you know what I'm saying? Got a little upfront money, and then certain things were promised on the back end and all of those type of things. But just my advice though, for anybody who's watching this, um, I am more of an independent minded artist. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've always loved being independent because it was like I could see the fruits of my labor. If I worked this hard, I'm gonna personally get this amount of money. Like, you know what I'm
Right. You
saying?
see,
To me,
yeah, yeah.
my mother and father were hardworking. They're hardworking blue collar people. I work this many hours a week. This is what I should see in my check. The music business ain't like that. You could work, you could work millions of hours and that this ain't gonna pan out to what you see. You feel me? What you feel like you should get. It's not about, they say in the music business, it's not about what you earn, it's about what you can negotiate. And if you're coming out of the ghetto, if you're coming out of the hood,
That's
you don't know
tough.
how to
Yeah.
negotiate no
Yeah.
proper contract. You just don't. So I always felt like the independent route was always what was best for me, because I love to work hard, but then at the end of the day, I love to see the fruits of my labor. Like, damn, I put in all of that work and this is what I got back. This makes sense to me.
Right.
A lot of time, the way the music industry is structured, you're going to work your ass off and you're going to get a check back that doesn't make sense to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot about other artists had the similar deal, right? The 6 album deal, and they give you an advance, and then they give you a budget, and then the company itself spends upon your budget, and then you go in a red because of what they spent on the budget.
Correct.
And then
Correct.
you get another advance, which is also something you got to pay back, and then they give you another budget for the next album. So it's like a perpetual cycle of just keeping you involved in that, and then you're in debt to them forever, right?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that college debt we were talking about.
Yeah. Listen, America.
Do you know what song goes through my head when we just said that?
What?
One way or another, I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
find
find
you.
you.
I'm gonna get you one way or another. Yo,
It's
it's
the
real.
realest.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. This is America is something else, man. The way they
Yeah,
put
it
everybody
is,
through the
bro.
grinder, man. Like I'm
Where
just
are
so
you
glad.
from, by the way?
I'm originally from New York, and I've bounced
Okay.
around. My dad was in the military, so I've been various different states, and I'm in Ohio right now.
Okay,
So
word.
It took me until probably like to really enlighten myself 22, right? Because at 22 is when I started to actually start to trade and learn about investing and all that. And I realized, like, yo, why didn't they never teach me this stuff, right?
Exactly.
And it could have been that I didn't pay attention because it wasn't something that I seen around in my circle or in my neighborhoods that I seen myself doing. So it could have been there, and it could have been blurry like my background, or I just didn't have access to it, one or the other. But either way, I got to that point, and I'm glad that I did at 22. I wish it would have been 18, and at 18, I wish it would have been 14, and at 14, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, I mean,
Yep.
Now I'm the change that I wanted to see. So I got my kids early, right? I started talking to them about money at 4. When they can really start to be cognitive, I'm
Right.
talking to them about the simple exchange of just exchanging money at the store, giving them the money
Absolutely.
so they can give the money and see how it really works, right? And then we start talking about the investing side of things as they get older. But
I commend you for that, bro.
thank you. I'm doing everything I possibly can so they don't repeat anything that I did. I want them to be way better than me at an earlier age. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
I salute you for that, bro.
Thank you. All right, so we talked about the deal structure, right? And You hinted upon how that's something that happens in the industry regularly. So what do you define as a bad deal? Is this structure right now what you define as a bad deal? Is there actually something worse than that structure?
Bro, I don't think any deal in the music business is a good deal. Like,
Wow.
because it does, like, I think that only when you get to a certain level of having leverage, like, you know what I'm saying? I think that you're able to have, because I think a good deal is a fair deal, and you only get fair deals once you have leverage.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't have no leverage, then it's not really, because think about it like this. I was talking to somebody about it one time, and the reason why I feel like this, and like I said, it's not just based off my situation. I think that I'm talking about the entire structure of the music
Right,
business.
right.
You're doing everything, and then there's a company that gets to tell you, well, this is how much of your money we gonna get. We gonna decide to give back to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that just does not make sense to me. It's like, you're the one that's gonna be in the studios until 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. You're the one that has to be creative enough to keep coming up with these ideas. You're the one that has to go through, just keep reinventing yourself and figuring
Right.
it out and going through all the like, you are putting in the majority of the work, and then these people in these offices and these buildings, they really just get to sit there, and whether you succeed or not, they're gonna keep generating these multi-millions of dollars that they're gonna generate anyway.
Right.
So it's just like, it just is not a fair balance. It's not a fair work to compensation ratio, like, in the music business. So I just look at it like, why not just do it yourself?
Right.
Do everything is, and that's just the way that I am. And I understand for some artists it's cool because they don't want to have to think about the other parts
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it. They
yeah.
don't want to have to think about certain breakdowns and certain things as far as the business goes. But I feel like if music is gonna be the business that you in, and you go sign a contract, really learn everything that there is to know. Don't just read a book. Go talk to people that's been through it before. Don't think that you're gonna be the exception to the rule, because there's so many people that jump in the game that think,
Thinking that
oh, I'm
same thing.
different. No,
Yep.
you're
Yeah.
not. You're not different, man.
You're a
If
dime a
it's
dozen.
like,
Yep.
I feel like James Brown is the prototype. Like, James Brown owned everything that he did. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was the prototype. He understood before he got into it. So I think that people should become well educated in the business that they're going into. Learn what worked for certain people. I love looking at Master P's story. I love looking at Cash Money's story. I love looking at those people that, like, own their masters and have 50-50, or in P's case, I think it was like 80-20
Yeah.
partnership
Yep.
deals. Like, those are like fair deals or good deals, but it's only ever so often that you hear about those type of deals. So I think people should just educate themselves and look at all of the success stories, and then look at all of the failure stories, and then do your best to learn as much as you can. But as far as your initial question, I don't know that there is a such thing as a good record deal, because all of that money, you eventually gonna have to pay
Pay it
back.
back.
And then
Yep.
if you end up in a situation where you got to get out of the contract and try to negotiate, not having to pay it back, you gonna go through hell.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
yo, do it yourself. Figure it out. Partner up with some people that you trust and believe in. If you got some homeboys who's some investors, or y'all invest in something else to support your music business, or if you just got some knowledgeable people around you, or you end up running into somebody and having a genuine organic relationship with somebody that happens to be financially well off, do that. But when you start going into these record companies, they don't care about
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
They
yeah.
the way they
all
look
about
at
money.
it is about money, and they
Yep.
look at it like there's 1,000 yous that walk in the door every day.
Yep.
They feel like they can just replace you with another. So for every artist, your journey, your music, and your craft is personal to you. It's not personal to them. So in my opinion, I don't know that there's a such thing as a good record deal unless you have leverage, unless you get that Master P and Birdman type deal.
Now, you went through the ups and downs of the music industry, and you learned this
Yeah.
afterward, right? So what
Right.
was that pivotal moment that had you realize that you need to learn this other side of the music biz?
Well, I think that it was when the pivotal moment, because I had quite a few pivotal
Yeah,
moments.
yeah, yeah. Let's
But
talk about the first one.
man, I don't know if I could. It's hard to on the spot remember the first one, but I can remember the most impactful one.
Okay.
Where I remember one time me and I love him to pieces, man, for life. My dog DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia. We was in Beverly Hills. We was at a Chinese restaurant, and I remember this was one of the times where he was asking me. He was like, "How are you making consistent income if your album haven't came out yet?" Right?
Yeah.
And he taught me something that I didn't know. He said, I said, well, right now I really ain't got too much money coming in because I'm not touring. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Right. So then he was like, well, have you tried to turn your album in? I said, yeah. He said, how many times? I said, I don't know, like 4 or 5. And then he's like, yo, do you know that they owe you your advance every time you try to turn your album in and they don't accept it? Like they owe you that again. And I said, really? And then he was like, yeah. He was like, so that was a pivotal point for me, because it was like, it's, as they say in the music, what they say in the music business is it's nobody else's business to teach you the business.
Yeah.
And so when you don't know what you don't know, it's a lot of things that just fly by. It's so many stories I could tell you that were pivotal where I was like, yo, I probably should have read up on this, or I probably should have did a little more investigating. So I don't ever have sour grapes about anything I ever went through, because I look at it like you learn from everything.
Yes,
everything is a learning experience. But that was a pivotal moment because Paul was telling me about things that is like, damn, if I would have knew that, I could have went cashed in, got a couple more. But because I didn't know, nobody ever told me. So it's just, I never did it. You know what I'm saying? Because I just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. But I would say that was like a pivotal moment of me being like, yo, I need to brushing up on my business. I need to have conversations. I need to not just be so focused on the music that the business end of it completely suffers. Like it's my responsibility as a man to know those things. And I can't blame it on anybody else that I didn't know my business. You feel me?
Listen, you said something that resonates with me about that learning experience. I look at nothing as a loss. Everything is a gained experience for me to learn that's going to lead me to my victory. So everything is going to be that stepping stone, because I only have W's. When I look at it, there's only the steps to get there. Those failures that you occur as you get to that point. That's all good, because now I know what not to do, right?
Yeah.
That's all you can ever expect out of those situations. And if you can go into it with that mindset, anything can be done. So man. That's all this life thing is. I'm actually getting to a point with life where I don't even know if I believe that any experience is good or bad. It just is what it is. It's just what was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like, of course you enjoy some experiences more than others, but anything can be, any negative could be looked at as a positive, any positive could be looked at as a negative, depending on your perspective in life. So for me, I don't look at anything that I've ever went through as a negative. It was, that was supposed to happen for me to gain the knowledge and information for me to keep pushing forward, and so that I can get it right this time. Okay, I got it wrong last time. Wise person once said, you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. Yep. You learn more from losing than you do winning any day. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's through those losses and through those little short failures that you, like you just said, that you gain all of the wisdom that you need to be able to prepare for the victory and know how to handle it, man. Yeah. You're the villain in somebody's story, no matter what.
Come on, man. Hey, man. Bro, what zodiac sign are you, bro?
I'm a Scorpio.
Scorpio, good people. My mom and my dad are Scorpios. You're a wise person.
Thank you.
Everybody is the villain in somebody else's movie, man. Yes. I say that all the time, which is why I just bugged out, right?
We got the same mind, man. Like, I've been vibing with you for a while, man. We just didn't know it.
It's my brother from another mother.
Right.
Yes.
That's it for part 1 of this episode. Make sure that you check out part 2 next week. Tag the show. Let me know what you learned about the music industry from this episode. And I'll see you next week. Peace.
I got my clique ready to use the money they got from jobs, encouraging, teaching them that it's not so hard. I'm doing this, making investing pop. You law is extra. You tuning in to Stocks and Bars.
Stocks and bars. Stocks and bars. Stocks and bars.